Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I have the 1/12 scale Marvel's Ghost Rider from Mezco Toys. This is also the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, so I will have a link down in the description below just for you guys to go ahead and purchase this yourself if you find this figure worth it. Now, for me, I got this from my local comic book store. That's right, my local comic book store in Corpus Christi, Texas. That comic book store was Most Wanted Comics. Now they have a wide selection of comics as well as a wide selection of figures just like this one. So go ahead and check them out whenever you guys come on down over here. But besides that, let's go ahead and get into this figure. So starting off with the box here, it's just a basic box here. You know, we have comic art of Ghost Rider right here, Johnny Blaze in his blue and red motorcycle, some comic panels here and there, Ghost Rider, Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, as well as on the side right here, him breaking through some bricks. Same image on the back, and another same image on the side. Nothing going on at the top. All we have is just Ghost Rider. Still very, very cool. Now this is also just a sleeve, so we can go ahead and take this off, revealing another printing on the actual box itself. Just a close-up of Johnny Blaze again, some more comic panels, Ghost Rider again on the top right here, him breaking through some bricks one more time, same thing on the back, same thing on this side. So there's nothing much to talk about. Bottom, pretty plain, ages 18 and up, not a toy for children, Mezco Toys, Marvel, all that lame junk right there. So besides that, there's nothing really much to talk about with the box, so let's just go ahead and get right into the figure. And here we have Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider figure standing out right in front of us. Now this figure looks absolutely awesome. I like it. I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan and this looks amazing to me. So we have some nice like rubberish material right here. I want to say it's like a leather. And I know on camera it definitely does not do this figure justice. This looks like more of a dark blue, but really it's like a lightish kind of sky blue. This one is definitely lighter as well. And the boots blend in so well with this rubbery material. I honestly find it amazing how they were able to blend that in so well too. Speaking of the boots, we know the boots are made out of plastic. There's very little joint movement with these as well, but we'll go ahead and get into that a little bit later. We also have his wrist gauntlets right here that are made out of plastic. And then his belt right here made out of plastic. But besides that, this figure is amazing. I do like the material. It isn't really as restricted as some of the other Mezco figures that I do have. But besides that, we also have his skull up here. So with his skull, just like the other Ghost Rider figure, you can light this up. All you have to do is just pop off the head and it reveals the light right there. Let me go ahead and get this camera to focus on it. So we have the light right here and you just twist and pull. Super simple. You can even do it with the skull on, but I prefer to take off the skull first just in case. And right at the bottom you're going to have just a little switch right here. All you have to do is flick that on and there goes the light. We'll go ahead and align this. It's going to be a peg right there. Line it up with the hole and on it goes. And the same thing right here. All you have to do is put the head in and turn. Super simple, and now it won't come off. But besides that, let's go ahead and show you guys what this looks like in the dark. And there we are. Without the lights on, this figure looks absolutely awesome with its head glowing. I honestly enjoy it, and I might honestly keep the head glowing whenever the lights are off. So this looks absolutely amazing. You can also move his jaw open and down, but you can't really do a lot of head movement due to that head coming off whenever the light is turned on. But besides that, this looks honestly really amazing. I know the camera definitely doesn't do it justice, but in person, this figure looks absolutely awesome, especially whenever it's glowing in the dark. You can definitely tell the transparent flames look amazing in person, like 100%. But besides that, let's go ahead and get his motorcycle in here. And here we have his motorcycle. This beautiful red ride right here looks fantastic to me. Again, this figure is absolutely comic accurate. And I also noticed the difference between these two, besides the color difference, is that this motorcycle right here doesn't have that headpiece like the first Mezco Ghost Rider does. So I find that really, really cool. Now, besides that, there isn't too much going on with this motorcycle here. Yes, there's little tiny bits of detail here and there, little indents to show, you know, the sculpting of the motorcycle, some paint right here to show a bit of the engine. But besides that, there's not too much going on. We do have the lights right here, so the wheels are transparent and they move fairly okay. It's not really a big kind of like toyish to play around and move around, but it can move around if you want it to. Super simple, super easy. We also have a light coming out from right here into the transparent wheel, and a light in the headlight right here. Now there's also two modes when it comes to this motorcycle. You have the two buttons up here, one right here and one right here, both making two different noises. So let's go ahead and turn off the lights and see how they sound. Alright, here we go. And then we have this sound over here. Very nice little startup right there for Ghost Rider's motorcycle. Though one thing with this figure or this bike that I don't like too much is that it doesn't stay on. So here in a minute the lights are probably going to go out on this motorcycle, unlike the Ghost Rider head where his stays on completely. Let's go ahead and get these lights going back on. Oh, and there goes the motorcycle. But besides that, this motorcycle is absolutely awesome, especially with the flame effects here we're going to put on in just a moment and show you guys what those look like. But this figure, the motorcycle, it looks fantastic, and I am a huge Ghost Rider fan, so this really does make me happy to have this in my collection, especially from Mezco. Even though it's not the original, I'm still not too sure, if I'm going to get the original, because I'm so pleased with how the exclusive one is. But besides that, let's go ahead and talk accessories. And here we have all of Ghost Rider's accessories. Now, he doesn't really come with a lot. It's mainly, you know, basic stuff. You don't expect Ghost Rider doing too much, so he doesn't come with that much. But let's go ahead and talk about the accessories. Starting off, we have the motorcycle accessories. We have the flame for the back wheel right here. And honestly, this looks amazing, especially the transparent color. I know the camera definitely doesn't get it very well, probably because of the lighting, but when this thing is lit up due to the bike, it is fantastic, and I honestly really enjoy it on the bike, as well as having this flame effect too. Now, my issue with this one is that when putting the wheel on, it doesn't fully go in. It kind of sticks up just a little bit, like a little bit of a hump, because of this barrier right here. So we'll go ahead and talk about that once we get the flames on this bike. But besides that, let's go ahead and talk about the other flame effects. So here we have two flame effects. One to where he's like throwing it. This one, he has little notches inside of the flame. I don't know if the camera gonna be able to pick it up. No, it doesn't look like the camera's gonna be able to pick it up. But there's tiny little notches. Oh, it's barely getting it. Yes. So there's tiny little notches in here for a certain hand that will show him throwing a fireball. So that's pretty much only for two hands, and that's it. It sucks that we didn't come with two of them, but hey, I can't complain. We also come with this little fireball right here, one that he's kind of like holding just like that. Now for this one, there isn't a specific hand for him to hold it with. It just kind of like rests in one of the hands, and it's not really secured enough, so it does fall out here and there. The other flame effect we have is his chain right here. Now this chain has just a small fire effect up at the top right here, and it is really not bendable. It's just a smooth kind of rubbery plastic, which honestly I probably won't use too much, or I'll keep it in its neutral position just like this, because I don't want to end up breaking the plastic right here because of how soft it is and how bendable it is. See, with the plastics like these, I don't really like to bend them too much. Just like on my other Marvel Legends Ghost Rider figures, it's very cheap, it'll mess up, and eventually it'll end up snapping and breaking off the more you bend it. But, which I don't understand why they didn't do it on this one right here, we have a nice wire in this one, which I find absolutely awesome. So this one, it can wrap around the Ghost Rider figure super clean and stay wrapped around instead of just falling off. It also can get into some crazy poses, and right here you can see the wire. We'll go ahead and just untuck it, and it's honestly really clean. I like it a lot. Having this posable wire just makes posing for this Ghost Rider figure so much better, especially if you have any other figures that uses chains such as Spawn or Scorpion. You can even use this chain right here for them, which I find honestly very convenient for me because I'm a big character or big fan of those characters. This chain is also made out of just a nice little aluminum. If my camera can focus on it. My camera's not focusing. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Camera focused up just a little bit. It is just a nice little aluminum chain. Nothing too crazy. And it's very clean. This wire does get a little messy. As you can see, this one's been poking out for just a little bit. But it can easily be fixed as long as you kind of wrap it around and tuck it back into the chain. And there we go. It's nice and tucked back in. Just like that, super simple. A little bit's going to be here and poking out there. The more you pose it, it's going to move around. So don't be too disregarded by that. It's still a very cool accessory. Honestly, out of all of them, I think this one's my favorite. Now, another accessory we have is the shotgun right here. So Johnny Blaze, before he was the Ghost Rider, would go and fight with Danny Ketch. And he would use these, I would say, hellish Holy Spirit kind of shotguns that would take on Mephisto's demons. So I find these very cool, and I am honestly glad they kept it with Johnny Blaze. Now, what would have been cooler is if they had the trench coat as well and an alternate Johnny head. I think that would have been pretty cool. Now, these shotguns and guns right here do not really have that much detail. There's tiny bit. Let me see if my camera can focus on it. There we go. There's just a tiny bit of detail right here. Whenever you pull back, that's super cool. It's a nice silver metallic kind of paint. But besides that, there's not much going on with this one. Including this one right here, we have the shotgun shells right here. Another pullback one. Still very cool. But besides that, there's not much going on. And I've also noticed that the hands don't really grip on the shotgun that well as much as I thought they would. Speaking of the hands, let's go ahead and get into those. So here we have his default hands, the fisted hands. Nice small detail right there. Little biker gloves that he has on, because Johnny Blaze was the stuntman. As well as some gripping gloves, or gripping hands, for his bike or even his chain. Then we have, had these hands mixed up, his little open hands right here. Now these ones I believe you can put onto the flame effect. I'll go ahead and show you that here in just a minute. And then we have two alternate hands. One is supposed to be the gun holding hand, which doesn't really fit too well, that I've noticed. So it's a big bummer. As well as this flame effect right here hand, which I believe this one is for the flame right here. And as I was saying, there is some little peg holes right there that just slide in. There we go. And just like that, it just slides in super easy, and I will show you guys how this looks on the figure. I think it looks cool, but again, it's not much we can do with Johnny Blaze or Ghost Rider. So the flaming bike is probably what you're mainly paying for. Oy. And then the same thing with this hand right here. All you have really is just to balance it on the open hands. And like I was saying earlier, it doesn't really have any slots for you to kind of stick it in, just besides that little tiny bit of flame to kind of wedge between the fingers just to hold it in place. It does look cool on the figure, but I don't really recommend it too much because it does fall off quite often. Now with the trigger finger gun right here, putting it on the shotgun, you can't really do much. All you have to do is just kind of like wedge the finger in between the trigger right here, and even then it just falls forward. So you really can't really hold this one. And the same thing with this one, it just gets in the way. It's too bulky, too big. Yeah, see, you can't really wrap his hands around it, so it's honestly not worth it to put the guns on. Very cool that it did come with them, but it really wasn't necessary, and they could have put something else instead. Now with the chains, we also have these hands again for the motorcycle to grip onto, as well as grip onto the chains. Very cool. Same for this one right over here. Just slide it from the top, open the hands just a little bit, and there you go. Very nice. And we'll put these to the side. We also have his display stand. Now this stand looks very cool. I honestly like this stand out of all of them, just because the Ghost Rider face is just so clean to have, and as a stand it just seems so nice. Instead of just seeing Green Goblin or saying Ghost Rider here, that would have been cool, but I believe this is so much better. Just having the symbol of him is way better, and I think Mezco should do this for almost all their figures. But besides that, let's go ahead and just put these accessories on the Ghost Rider. Starting off, we have the Ghost Rider with his gripping hands right here, holding on to the chains. Again, this one's not very posable, but it is still nice to have. We can lift his arm up here, make it seem like a whip. Still very cool. And then we have the wired one, which can wrap around, move around, and honestly stays in a position semi-okay. It does fall here and there like that. It'll just flop down, but it does stay in that kind of position for a little bit. I honestly prefer to use this wired one to go ahead and wrap around him instead, and I will show you guys what I mean by that. So all I would do really would just wrap it around, something that won't damage the cloth. I don't go too tight, and just kind of keep it a little simple, trying to hide the little pinpoints behind. And if I need to, I'll go ahead and pull the bottom right here just to get it a little tighter. And just like that, it looks very clean. And of course, you can tighten it a little bit more, maybe double it, but that's how I would honestly have it on my Ghost Rider figure, if you guys want to do that. But besides that, let's go ahead and get his motorcycle in here to show you guys how we put him on there as well. We'll go ahead and slide these chains over and bring in that motorcycle right here. So all you have to do, just sit him down real quick, pick his feet up, there we are, and he sits in there pretty snug as a bug in a rug. Bring up his arms and slide his hands on in there, just like that. There goes one hand, and we'll pick up his arm again and slide his hand in there one more time, and there we go. Now we have Johnny Blaze on his bike. And of course you can pick up his feet, put his feet up here if you want. I honestly think having it right here in this kind of pose is just fine. But besides that, this looks pretty cool. I honestly think this is clean. What do you guys think? I think this is fine, right? Alright, now let's go ahead and get those flame effects in. So here we have the flame right here that goes on the bike. Now, again, like I was saying, this has a little notch right here that kind of keeps up the bike. And let me show you guys what that means. So right here, it doesn't really fully go down at the bottom right there. It just kind of puts the wheel in place, and then that's it. So this will be a little bit up in the air, and I don't want to mess up the bike at all by pushing it down or pushing down right here on that brake pad. So I think just having it like this is fine. It shouldn't mess up the bike too much. And it does look a little funky from the front, but hey, it's okay. Now for the back one, it's super simple. Just go ahead and park that in there. And just like that, it's already in. Super duper simple. And let's go ahead and show you guys what it looks like once you turn off the lights. All right, turning on the bike. And now this looks okay. I mean, the flames do light up just a bit, but not as much as I would want them to. You can definitely tell the flames are lit, but very, very small and barely light. Same thing with the front. Due to that part right here, it is kind of getting in the way of this lighting up a little bit more. So, is it okay? Is it worth it? Not too much. The lights are fantastic, but I say just having the flames is good enough. Now besides that, let's go ahead and get on those other flame accessories. And here we have Ghost Rider ready to put on these flame accessories. So we'll start off with his throwing flame. So right here is the hand that you would put on for that effect. And like I showed you guys earlier whenever I was showing off the accessories, all you have to do is just slide this flame into the matching holes. Just like that. Super simple, super easy. And now you have him throwing a flame. Very nice and very cool. I'm not too sure if I'll have my Ghost Rider throwing the flame, but if you like it, then by all means, go for it. Now we also have him holding the flame, which is going to be this open hand right here. And honestly, it's so difficult to put this flame on there. Hopefully I don't have any troubles during this video, but we're about to find out. So the best method I found is there's going to be this little notch right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a little slanted. Kind of slide that in between the thumb and the pointer finger. And there we go. Now we have him holding that flame right there while throwing a flame as well. Now, as I was saying earlier, this flame right here does fall off quite often. So you can't really pick him up and move him that much, because then that flame will fall down. But besides that, it does look cool. I like it. It's not too bad, you know. I don't think I would personally have this on my shelf like this. Maybe there's a cooler pose I can put him in with this flame effect. But again, I don't think I'll really have him with his flames. But besides that, he does look cool holding them. Now, let's go ahead and just get into articulation. Alright, now Ghost Rider has a decent amount of articulation. He definitely can be posed and stay in a pose longer than the Spider-Man or the Ghost Rider, and definitely more than the Black Panther. So let's go ahead and show you guys that articulation. So right here in the boots, he does have a swivel right here at the foot, left and right. It doesn't really go down that much. It can't really go up that much. So there's no point in doing that. He also has that boot swivel too. Same thing with the other boot. Left, right, little to the left, a little to the right. In the thighs, we have a small thigh swivel. Of course, the cloth restricts it, so it can't go out too much, but you can make him look like a penguin. You do have that kick all the way up to at least a 90 degree. That bend right here, double jointed knees. Can do the splits, just about that much. Same thing with his other leg. Pick it up, 90 degree. Double jointed knees. And of course, split them out too. Now, honestly, I wouldn't really do it too much, again, due to the fabric. It isn't really a Marvel Legend to where you can go crazy, or a Mafex figure to where they have so much posability. Now, he does have a little bit of an ab crunch just right there. Back crunch, not too much. He does have the joints to do a T-pose. You can bend the elbows in, double jointed, by the way. Again, restricted by the cloth. You can have his arm go up almost to the top. About that much. But besides that, you can have him go back too. Not too much. The jaw does open and close. Opens about that much. Doesn't close fully. Then you have the wrist swivel and a little bit of a bend too. Very nice. The head can turn this much and this much as well. Again, there is a light at the bottom, so the head does come off whenever you turn it this way. So really, there isn't that much head movement. He can't look up, he can't look down, he can't do a 360. So that is pretty much it for how much he can really move. And honestly, it's not too bad. You don't expect Ghost Rider to get in these crazy poses like Spider-Man, and you don't expect him to be as restricted as the Hulk. So I think he has a fair amount of articulation for his character, to be honest. And again, the clothing does restrict some of it, but I don't think it restricts all of it. It seems appropriate to me about how much articulation this figure has, especially with the cloth. But besides that, let's go ahead and just get into some sizes and comparison. And here we have him next to his Marvel Legends counterpart, and you can definitely tell which one looks cleaner and which one has more articulation. But besides that, they look really good together. The height comparison's about the same. The only difference is that his neck is shorter, making him just a little bit shorter from the heads. But in Flames, this Ghost Rider, the Mezco one, is definitely a lot taller. But besides that, they both look really clean, and they are both counterparts of each other, so you can definitely tell that these two figures look awesome together. But besides that, there's not really much to talk about, and I would like to end the video right here. I want to say thank you guys for watching. You know, this video was a bit expensive, but it was definitely worth it. This Ghost Rider to me is 100% worth it. I honestly enjoy it, and if you're a real Ghost Rider fan, I know for a fact you will enjoy this Ghost Rider here. Yes, it is a little bit pricey, especially for the amount of accessories you're getting and the amount of light that's radiating going off from the bike to the flames. It's not too worth it, but to me, I don't mind. I'll definitely spend another penny on this Ghost Rider, but later on in the future. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything I can do better in this video, you guys let me know. Your comments mean so much to me. I want to thank you guys for supporting me and subscribing to me. But besides that, I'll see you guys in the next one.